everyone, welcome to Golden Top 10, a channel for amazing facts and information. In this video, we are going to talk about the African countries that were not colonized. Watch this video till the end so you don't miss any part of the video worth seeing, and make sure to subscribe to Golden Top 10, and hit that notification bell so you never miss any of our future uploads. Ethiopia and Liberia are widely believed to be the only two African countries to have never been colonized. Their location, economic viability, and unity helped Ethiopia and Liberia avoid colonization. The truth is that brief periods of varying levels of foreign domination during their early histories have left the question of whether Liberia and Ethiopia were truly independent up for debate. What does colonization mean? The discovery, conquest, and settlement of one political body over another is the process of colonization. It is an ancient art that was practiced by the Assyrian, Persian, Greek, and Roman empires in the Bronze and Iron Ages, as well as the post-colonial empires of the United States, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. The Western colonization, or the attempt by the maritime European nations of Portugal, Spain, the Dutch Republic, France, England, and finally Germany, Italy, and Belgium to dominate the rest of the world, is the most widespread, most studied, and possibly the most harmful of the colonial acts. This began in the late 15th century, and by World War II, colonies accounted for 2/5 of the world's land area and 1/3 of its population. Another third of the world's territory had been colonized but had become independent nations. And because many of those sovereign nations were predominantly made up of settlers' descendants, the impacts of Western colonization were never entirely reversed. Never colonized? Turkey, Iran, China, and Japan are among the few countries that have not been absorbed by the Western colonial juggernaut. Furthermore, before 1500, countries with longer histories or greater levels of civilization were colonized later or not at all. The difficulty of reaching a country, the relative navigation distance from northwestern Europe, and the lack of a safe overland approach to landlocked countries appear to have influenced whether or not it was colonized by the West. Liberia and Ethiopia were arguably among those countries in Africa. The imperialistic European powers avoided the open colonization of Liberia and Ethiopia, the only two African countries they regarded viable partners in the trade-based international economy since they believed it was critical to their economy's development. However, Liberia and Ethiopia were obliged to give up territory, submit to varying degrees of European economic domination, and become players in European spheres of influence in exchange for their apparent independence. Ethiopia. Some scholars consider Ethiopia to have never been colonized, notwithstanding Italy's occupation from 1936 to 1941, which did not result in a long-term colonial authority. Italy failed to colonize Abyssinia, as Ethiopia was then known, in the 1880s. Mussolini ordered a second invasion on October 3, 1935, and Abyssinia was annexed by Italy on May 9, 1936. On June 30, 1936, Emperor Haile Selassie made an emotional appeal to the League of Nations for assistance in removing the Italians and re-establishing independence, obtaining support from the United States and Russia. However, many League of Nations members, such as the United Kingdom and France, acknowledged Italian annexation. During the 1896 war, Ethiopian troops leave Addis Ababa before defeating the Italian invaders in the Battle of Adwa. Ethiopia, historically known as Abyssinia, is one of the oldest countries on the planet. The Kingdom of 𝐥𝐤𝐬 is mentioned in the King James Version of the Bible, and it dates back to roughly 400 BCE. 𝐥𝐤𝐬 was one of the four great powers of the time, along with Rome, Persia, and China. Ethiopia has won decisive victories against a series of global colonialist forces over millennia thanks to the willingness of the country's people from farmers to kings to unite as one. This, combined with the country's geographic isolation and economic prosperity, has helped Ethiopia win decisive victories against a series of global colonialist forces. In 1895, Italy invaded Ethiopia in order to expand its already vast colonial empire in Africa. Ethiopian troops defeated Italian forces at the Battle of Adwa on March 1, 1896, in the ensuing First Italo-Ethiopian War, 1895–1896. The Treaty of Addis Ababa, signed on October 23, 1896, ended the conflict and recognized Ethiopia as an independent state. On October 3, 1935, Italian dictator Benito Mussolini planned the second invasion of Ethiopia, intending to reclaim his country's lost status after the Battle of Adwa. Italy was successful in annexing Ethiopia on May 9, 1936. The country was combined with Eritrea and Italian Somalia on June 1 of that year to become Africa Orientale Italiana. Independence was not regained until May 5, 1941, when Selassie was restored to the Ethiopian throne. Liberia. Liberia, a sovereign nation that was founded in 1847, is frequently referred to as never colonized. Liberia was created in 1821 by Americans and remained under their rule for just over 17 years before gaining partial independence on April 4, 1839, when a commonwealth was declared. 8 years later, on July 26, 1847, true independence was established. Because of the quantity of Melegueta pepper grains, Portuguese, Dutch, and British traders maintained lucrative trading ports in the region known as the Grain Coast, from the middle 1400s to the late 17th century. The American Society for the Colonization of Free People of Color in the United States was founded by white Americans who believed there was no place for free blacks in the United States. They believed the federal government should pay for the return of free blacks to Africa, and free blacks finally took over the administration. On December 15, 1821, the acts established the Cape Miserato colony on the Grain Coast. On August 15, 1824, this was enlarged into the Liberian colony. The colony had become a financial burden on the acts and the U.S. government by the 1840s. Liberia also faced political threats from Britain because it was neither a sovereign state nor a recognized colony of a sovereign state. As a result, in 1846, the acts ordered Liberians to declare independence. However, even after Liberia gained complete independence a year later, European nations continued to regard it as an American colony, avoiding it throughout the 1880s rush for Africa. However, some scholars contend that Liberia's 23-year era of American dominance leading up to independence in 1847 qualifies it as a colony. That was it for this video. What do you think about our video? Tell us in the comments below. As always, please don't forget to subscribe to Golden Top 10, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.